Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you my top 3 pro vocal mixing tricks. We're talking vocal mixing today, but before we dive in, if you are ready to take your vocal mixes to the next level and really start perfecting your EQ strategy, then I have just the tool for you. It is my ultimate guide to vocal EQ, and it's just a simple PDF that will walk you through how to EQ your vocals step by step to get you polished and professional sounding vocals without any more of the guesswork. It is a completely free guide, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here and talk about some pro vocal mixing tricks. So number 1 here is the vocal thickening trick. Now I don't have the vocal thickening trick on this song by design, so I can show you guys how to do it. I do have another video showing you how to do it. I'm going to do it a little bit quickly here as there is another video, and I can link to that below for you guys. So all we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this vocal here, and we're going to drag down, not all of the audio, just the audio for this vocal track here. Excuse me. We'll call it something like voc. We'll bounce that and merge it together. So we have one final track here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call it pitch 1. We're going to duplicate that guy many, many times here. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want 6 of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 pairs, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. And we're going to pitch them opposite each other. This is how we're going to get a thicker vocal, and it'll give us a little bit of width as well on the back end. So we're going to take these vocals here, and we're going to pitch them a little bit. So this first one here, pitch 1, we don't need all these plugins on all of these. Get rid of those. So on pitch 1 here, we're going to pitch it down 3. And then number 2, we're going to go up 3. Almost did the gain there. Number 3, we're going to go up 6. So now we're going to go opposite. We're going to go up on the side we went down, and we're going to go down on the side that we went up. So we're going to go down 6 on the other side here. Number 5, we're going to go down 9. So we're keeping things even here. Now on the side we went up before, we're going to go down. And then here on this one, we're going to go up 9. So quick look through here. We got 9, -9, -6, 6, 3, and -3. So now that we've got all of those, we're going to bounce and commit all of that, and it'll rename our tracks as well. It'll make it easier inside of our folders to see all of these different tracks. So now we've got them all bounced out here. We can come over to our files section here and just find the actual session file. So we're going to be in this folder, songs. It'll be in the singles folder. So all you have to do is look for where your actual session is going to be. Vox loop. And it'll be under bounces. And then we'll have it under pitch. So here they are right here. Pitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 and 2. And we're going to merge them to a stereo file. So then we'll have pitch. Then we'll do 3 and 4. Same way. Merge them to a stereo file. Cool, and then same way, 5 and 6, merge to a stereo file. So now we have these 3 right here. We're going to take these 3 and drag them into our actual song. We can take these 3 tracks, pull them up right by our vocal here. We don't need any of these guys anymore. All we did was pretty much move those guys. Oh, look, they actually lined up perfectly. Nice. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So this one is going to be pitch 3, right? That's our guy that's 3 up, 3 down. This one will be pitch 6, and then 9. So those are those 3 guys there. I usually like to group them together, so we'll do that as well. If you click, highlight all 3, Command G, create a group for them, and then I like to color them tan usually. So now we have these 3 guys here that we can pull up underneath our vocal to give it a little bit of thickness. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So we're going to take these guys all the way down, and we're going to pull this up underneath our vocal here. So take a listen, our lead vocal, as we pull this up underneath it. I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way up.
I'm holding it in. I'm holding out for your.
Hear that little bit of extra weight come in underneath? We don't get too much of that width and too much of that phasiness, right, from these three vocals being pitched up and down. But tucking these three underneath gives you that extra weight and that extra thickness to your vocal to help it sit and be powerful inside a bigger mix. You can see there's a lot of tracks on this mix. So our vocal needs to be powerful and it needs to be competitive. So that's our first one there. Our second one is using a reverb with a longer pre-delay. Now I've talked about this before. This is something I do on all of my mixes, is using a plate reverb, and I have a 152 millisecond pre-delay on it. So it's just the flat plate setting here from the PreSonus Reverb. If you come in here to flat plate, and I've just tweaked it so it's about 152 millisecond pre-delay on a 2-second plate. So a little bit of a long pre-delay, but what the pre-delay does is it makes sure the reverb happens after our vocal. So we hear our vocal and then we hear our reverb. This makes sure that it's not sitting on top of our vocal. We've already got our thickness coming from our three pitched vocals here, right? From our vocal thickening trick. That's where we're getting our weight. That's where we're getting our thickness from. Now, if we stack reverb on top of it, then it's just going to be a bunch of mud in that low mid area. So we want our reverb to happen after our vocal. That way you hear your vocal, you can hear exactly what they're saying, discern their words, discern the lyrics. Then you get the reverb after it. So you get the nice tail from the reverb, and you get that nice width and the nice ambiance and the good vibe without it stacking on top of your vocal, stacking on top of whatever effects you have going, whether it be the vocal thickening trick or a distorted delay or a normal slapback, and adding mud on top of it. So take a listen here with our actual reverb in. And what I'll do is I'll nuke the pre-delay, and you can hear what happens as I get rid of it here.
I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours. I'm holding it in. I'm holding out for your word. Just give me the word. I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours.
Hear how our reverb is after the fact. So you hear your vocal, then you hear your reverb. Putting your reverb after your vocal creates space between them, and it makes sure they don't stack on top of each other and your reverb muddies up your lead vocal like that. So nice trick here to make sure your reverb is clean and you get the length you want from it without it muddying up your lead vocal. Let's pull that back to where it was there. Throw that back in the mix there. So that's our first two. And our third one is something that I love doing, which is EQing into your compressor. So I have my EQ here, and you can see I've got my moves going, but then I have my compressor going. A little bit of EQ afterwards, pulling down some top end on it. It was a little harsh, but putting my EQ before my compressor allows me to push into the compressor. So I can get rid of what I don't need and then push any kind of stuff I want into the compressor. So for example, if we solo up our vocal here, let me get rid of the reverb. Take a listen to our vocal without the compressor in, and then I'll throw the compressor in and take a listen to how our vocal changes, and I'm going to put a boost in here as well. I want you to listen to how the boost is different pushing into the compressor versus without the compressor.
I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours. I'm holding it in. I'm holding out for your word. Just give me the word. I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours.
So that's normal boost, no compression, no compressor in at this moment. All I did was boost 5 dB at 8K. So it sounds okay, right? It's a little harsh, right? That's why that boost isn't there in the first place. Now I'm going to put the compressor in and boost into the compressor. And take a listen to how our boost is different now that we're pushing into a compressor.
I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours. I'm holding it in. I'm holding out for your word. Just give me the word. I can't take anymore. Baby, I'm all the way yours.
Hear how our entire vocal shape changes now? The reason being is our compressor is holding our vocal in place. So we start to push up the top end and the compressor compensates for that. This is one of the reasons I love using especially this FET style 1176 style compressor, is because of the character it has for it, and pushing into it like that. I'm doing probably about 7 to 10 dB of compression with this compressor, which is quite a lot, but the character it imparts is really nice, but it also balances the vocal really well. You will get this effect using pretty much any compressor by pushing into it like that. So if you're doing 6, 7 dB of compression on your vocal and then you boost your top end into it, you're gonna get a different sound rather than if you boost your top end and then you put your compressor on and tweak your compressor that way. It's gonna react differently and you're gonna react differently to what you're hearing. Get your EQ again, okay? Get rid of what you don't need, then go in, set your compressor the way you want it, get your compression going, whether it's 6, 7, 10 dB compression, then come back to your EQ and then do your boosts. Whether it's a subtle boost like here at half dB at 3K, or whether it's a 6, 7 dB boost at 8K. It's gonna sound different and you're gonna react differently to these boosts with the compressor going, rather than getting that boost in and then compressing. Those are our 3 tips there. Our first one is using the vocal mixing trick. So that's duplicating your vocal, what was it, 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I can count 6 times, pitching them down. So the first one's down 3, then up 3, then up 6, down 6, down 9, and up 9. Bounced them, turned them into stereo pairs. So we have our 3, our 6, and our 9. And then all we're doing is tucking this underneath our lead vocal to get that extra thickness. That's our first one. Second one was using a reverb with a pre-delay. So again, I'm using a 2-second plate reverb with about 152 millisecond pre-delay. That makes sure our reverb is after our vocal, not sitting on right on top of it and adding any kind of mud or low-mid muddiness to our lead vocal. And then our third one is EQing into your compressor. So getting your EQ up, getting rid of what you don't need, then setting your compressor, so doing your compression, going back to your EQ and boosting into the compressor. I hope that was helpful for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you are ready to level up your vocal mixes and really start dialing in your EQ strategies in Engineer, then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It is my ultimate guide to vocal EQ, and you can download it below to start creating more professional vocal mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.